Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts. Find a location near you. Now.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool. But they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So, we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time. To pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts. Find a location near you now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid's solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You saying I did?
These guys are fired up. Our crew is fired up. Game one's coming your way next.
It is a beautiful late afternoon here in Kokomo, Indiana, as we get set for Game 3 of the HCAC Baseball Championships right here on HCAC.tv. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Bertner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Clean Slate, inspired innovation that moves business forward. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And Boilermakers Local 374, when you need a safe, dependable workforce, you can count on Boilermakers Union Local 374. Once again, good afternoon. I'm Sean Crawl. Joining me is the legend that is Troy Darengowski as we get set for Game 3. And we have our first team playing their second game, Troy. Manchester won the first game this morning, so they are up against the number 1 seed Franklin College Grizzlies. And it's not just a benefit not having to play that game for Franklin, but now they get to throw their ace, whereas Manchester threw theirs in game one. What kind of advantage does that give Franklin besides the fact that they haven't had to play yet?
Well, I'll tell you what, Manchester played well in that first game. They kind of set the tone very early. They were swinging at the first pitch, really doing a nice job being aggressive at the plate. And even though Bluffton got a couple of runs in the third inning to make it 4-2, Manchester came right back. They were attacking everything that was thrown at them, and I thought they played extremely, extremely well on just about every facet of the game. And you're right. I mean, Layson pitched well. He pitched very well when he was in the windup. Out of the stretch, not as well when Bluffton got men on base. But, I mean, when you think about this league, you really don't think much about pitching overall. Because it really is not a pitcher's type conference. But the way that he threw today will give Manchester plenty of hope going into this one. Again, probably the one downfall to that is they had to wait around and then come back and now play this game because of the way that the format is set up. But I'll tell you what, Manchester, as well as they looked, and I know Franklin has won 30 games this year. They're the regular season champions, and they can sting the baseball. So if Manchester is going to win this game, they'll need another performance like what they had earlier today.
As we see both coaches at home plate getting their instructions from the umpires, Rick Esposette in his 27th year at Manchester, and you also have Lance Marshall in his 25th year. These are the grizzled veterans, if you will, in the HCAC. It's got to be pretty good, too, to get momentum as a 6 seed to come out and beat that 3 seed early that Manchester did, and hopefully carry that momentum into this afternoon's game. But as the saying goes, momentum is only as good as your starting pitcher. And let's take a look at that starting pitcher for Manchester. It's Carter Hooks, 6-3 with a 4.72 ERA. He's got 15 appearances, but only started 8 games. Opponents hit .305 off of him, but he strikes out a little bit more. He had a few more strikeouts than Layson did, but he walks quite a few more, almost double what Layson did. So control is going to seem to be extremely important for Hooks this afternoon.
Well, what we have seen in the ballpark in the first 2 games, in game 1, we saw 4 balls go out of the ballpark to left field. Second game, we saw 2 more going to left field. The ball is really carrying, for whatever reason, to left field. We got a little bit of a breeze blowing that way, but I don't think it's enough to make that much of a difference. So we've seen hitters really crush the baseball. The bottom line is you got to keep it low in the strike zone. If you get it up in the stratosphere like we've seen so far, and some of those balls are going to carry, you're going to be in big trouble.
And this is a team in Franklin that you do not want to elevate the ball against, because these guys just flat out mash. You look at some of the numbers they've got. A.J. Sanders slugging .616 from the leadoff spot. I mean, the entire team hit almost 30 homers more than any other team in the conference. Yeah. They're nationally ranked in terms of home runs, and you just look down the line at some of these numbers. Their number 2 hitter, Sean Sullivan, 14 homers. Their 4 hitter, Early, 12 homers. Their 6 hitter, LaGuire Cruz, has 13 home runs. It is imperative for Hooks to keep the ball down and try and keep these guys off the base paths.
Yeah, and if they don't hit home runs, they hit extra bases, because when you look at the slugging percentages, and they're out of this world as well for Franklin, it just proves you there. That's why they've won 30 out of their 40 games. Not only can they hit the baseball, they can pitch, but they can steal bases, and they've got guys, 5 in the lineup now, in this lineup today, that have over 10 stolen bases. And if you look back at the history of teams that end up winning this tournament, they're able to steal a lot of bases.
They are, and you can see taking the mound for Franklin College is number 22, Matthew Johnson. He is 5-1 on the season with a 3.74 ERA. He started all 11 appearances he's made this year. Struck out 63, walks are a little high in 34, but we talked about the fact that Hooks' opponent's batting average is .305. For Johnson, it's .220. That's a huge difference. So you mentioned how Manchester came out swinging early in first pitches. It's a key for Johnson. He's going to want to get those ground balls to get those outs and keep that batting average down and keep Manchester off the base paths as well.
You know, Sean, as many times as you look at those lines and you think, hey, he's 3.74 ERA. It's very impressive. He won 5 games this year and 11 appearances, but you're right. You've got to go further on the column to the right and look at that batting average because that's really, really big. And now the question is, when you look at what Manchester did earlier, the middle of their lineup got 11 of their hits. They had 15 on the day. From Haynes, Kennedy, Pittsburgh, and Knowles, they ended up getting the big hits and the big runs driven in, and then you had Baker at the bottom of the lineup. So 15 hits, but now they're really going to have to earn them in this one.
And as you look at the Manchester lineup, when you look at the season stats, those are the guys that get the job done. You get to the bottom of the order, the big thing they want to do is flip it over to get back to those guys at the top of the lineup. Looks like we're ready to go. Manchester in their black tops with gold numerals and letters, gray pants, black hats. Franklin in their home whites with the navy caps and the yellow look very much like Michigan.
They do, don't they? That's why they're so good.
Yeah. First pitch. And this is a key, too. Home plate umpire tonight is Jeremy Hosier. What is he going to give Johnson and both pitchers on the corners? Where can they go? How far out can they go as that pitch is swung at and missed? It evens the count at 1.
Well, we have seen the first 2 umpires very consistent, everything around the plate. Bottom line, need to get up there and swing the bat.
And this is a hitter's league. If you go out and look at the statistics on the website, you will see lots of big numbers offensively. There's a foul ball out to the right. That may be headed for the playground. Oh, just shy of it. It evens the count at 2. Again, beautiful early evening here in Kokomo. Municipal Stadium, fantastic venue. And we got plenty of baseball for you right here on HCAC.tv. And runs the count full with the first hitter. Got to get those jitters out.
Yeah. Takes a little time, get feel for the zone and what you're looking at.
And he starts off with the walk. So Stevens will reach base. He's only stolen 6 bases on the season. And Zach White, the senior second baseman, will come to the dish.
I just thought that was such a huge key earlier today, the way that Manchester came out and was swinging the bat, wasting no time. If they saw the pitch, they went after it.
Got the call there, did Johnson. This is his first look from the stretch. White's hitting .321. He's got 25 RBIs. Just a little bit tardy on that high fastball. You going back upstairs again? He's thrown 2 fastballs.
You know, I'm 0-2. I might throw him something breaking here. Forget that, huh?
Yeah. He's tardy again, shot it off to the right side. And you get down 0-2. You just get in combat mode up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to protect at all costs.
You know, Johnson, you mentioned the walk to strikeout ratio is a little bit high as he opened up with a walk here. That's something he'll really have to avoid.
Ooh, just nicked at the plate. Fouled back, so White stays alive. He is a senior. 2 seniors at the top of the lineup for the Spartans. Bilson is another senior. Only 1 senior in the lineup for Franklin College. Off speed, that was coming back at us.
You know, how scary is that? You have 1 senior in your starting lineup. I mean, they win the championship, regular season last year, fell short in the tournament. You come back, win the regular season, and you still only have 1 senior in the lineup?
It's pretty impressive, isn't it? Ooh, wanted to get it with the heater. A little bit outside. 1-2 the count. Man, if you're close by Kokomo, you got to get out here and check out this beautiful stadium. Some teams playing. Ground ball up the middle. It's going to be tough. Oh, right to Sanders at short. Steps on the bag. Throw gets away from early. Goes into the dugout, and that'll send White to second. Hurried the throw.
Yeah, Shawnee really didn't need to. In fact, he had plenty of time to make that throw, and again, just short hop the first baseman. You know, we saw really Bluffton had 3 errors in our first game. Manchester did not commit an error. If I'm not mistaken, we had no errors in the second game, so defensively we've seen some pretty good baseball.
And they got really what they wanted without hitting the ball to the right side. There's another ground ball to Sanders. Sanders gets it over to early 6-3 for the out as Haynes grounds out. That's 2 outs. That'll leave it up to Joel Kennedy, the DH, to get that runner home from third.
Yeah, it was good to get Rocco Haynes. He drilled one in the earlier game. We talked about the many home runs we have seen to left field, and that's a big out to get Haynes there at number 3.
Speaking of, Kennedy has 8 on the season. He's set to face Johnson for the first time, and Johnson's kind of living on that outside corner to the right-hand hitters.
Yeah, he certainly is, and again, he might have watched the earlier game just to see how well they're hitting, wants to keep everything away from the guys in the middle of this lineup.
And the guy on deck, too, Pittsford, he leads the team, or at least the starters, in long balls with 13. Johnson wants to get this out right here. Off to the right side, and there's that wonderful ping.
Like that, huh?
I personally think if you're ranking sounds in sports, a wooden bat on a baseball is 1. Swish net snapping is probably 2.
Yeah.
Tough play for Reed. It's a fair ball. Can't quite handle it. We'll see if they give him a base hit, but White scores on the play, and Manchester goes up 1-0.
Well, again, you look at what they were able to do, speaking of the Spartans in their first game, get that first run. They just kind of set the tone. I think they're playing with just a lot of confidence right now.
They are. And that, high chopper, not used to, playing on turf. A lot of these teams are. And both those ground balls that have caused issues to Sanders and Reed have been slower ground balls.
Yeah.
Trying to judge the hop and trying to get it over there. They rush it, and that are problems. That is a absolute rocket to left field, but right at Wood for the out. That'll be the 3rd out of the inning. However, Manchester does score a run on the ground ball by Kennedy, and that will do it. Okay.
Just working with our company, you're going to get to work with a lot of bright individuals.
Everyone is open and ready to help you, and definitely big on advocating for making sure that you succeed and reach your potential.
Everyone's goal is the same, to make the best products that we can for our clients and make sure that it is everything and more that it could be.
What's kept me here? Our culture. We're genuinely a very great group of people. Everyone's just always willing to lend a hand.
When I have a suggestion or a concern and I voice it, leadership actually hears me.
As a consultancy, every person has a role and has something to bring to the table. There's just a lot of opportunities here if you're up for the challenge.
Jump on board, be part of the fun ride, because we're going places.
Back here at Kokomo for the men's baseball tournament. By the way, simultaneously on the Family of Networks, the women's softball tournament's taking place at Transy. We're in game that's going on right now. Transylvania leads Manchester 11-4 in the bottom of the 5th. You got plenty of round ball going for you this weekend on HCAC.tv as we get our first look at Carter Hooks. 6-3 with a 4.73 ERA. We were talking off air, Troy, that a lot of people seem to think throwing a lefty against Franklin is your best shot at beating him.
Yeah, and apparently so we've seen some pattern there throughout the last couple of years where maybe a lefty's really given Franklin some issues, and so that's why they're going to go here in game 2. I mean, how big of a lift would this be if you can get your lefty to throw another good game?
Yeah. A.J. Sanders leads off for the Grizzlies and quickly runs the count 2-0. And if you want to see some eye-popping stats, take a look at this young man's stat line. My goodness. OPS and slug are ridiculous as there's a strike on the outside corner. Hitting .418 on the year, .497 on base percentage, .616 slugging. And there's a shot out into close to the gap, but nice job by Stevens to run it down. That one held up just a little bit for Stevens, allow him to run under it and catch it.
Boy, a lot of times you see that ball and you think, boy, that thing's hit really much harder than it is, but good job there by Stevens in center. You know, you mentioned Sanders' numbers. It is like playing a video game, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
And can't even get those numbers in the video games I play. So.
Sullivan first pitch swinging. Hits one out to center field again for Stevens. That's the old can of corn. And quickly, 2 outs. Not a ton of pitches so far. You got to like that if you're Manchester.
We had 3 pitchers, I believe, in our first 2 games that were, well, the 3 starters nearing 100 pitches or over. So we've seen pitchers go through a lot of pitches early, but if Hooks can keep him down, he has a really good opportunity to win this game.
And that'll bring the first lefty to the dish. It'll be Tyson Lipscomb, the catcher, senior. He's the lone senior in the lineup, and that's a flare out down the right field line. Underneath it is Hawley for the out, and just like that, 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back for the second.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Back at Municipal Stadium in Kokomo. Game number 3 of the HCAC baseball tournament. At the end of 1, Manchester, the 6th seed, leads the number 1 seed Franklin Grizzlies 1-0. And boy, you couldn't have asked for a better start for Manchester, getting that crooked number early. And then Hooks just bang, bang, bang. Next thing you know, 3 up, 3 down. They're back in the dugout.
Boy, made it really quick. Made it actually look easy against some pretty good hitters at the top of that Franklin lineup. And this game a lot of times is about confidence and how well you're playing here at the end of the year. And I think after earlier today, the way Manchester played, they feel they can come in here despite being the number 6 seed and playing the number 1 seed. I think they feel they have every opportunity, but it comes, again, back down to pitching. You know, one thing I should mention, and we saw some mistakes made by Anderson late in their game, because they had a chance to at least tie or win that game in Game 2, and they made a terrible base running error that cost them. So you got to really cut down on the mistakes, too. Don't have a whole lot of errors.
100%. Austin Knowles, junior third baseman, coming up to the plate. 271 on the year for the junior. Second inning of work for Matthew Johnson. Still again living on that outside corner.
Well, if you can get that outside pitch consistently, I mean, why not keep going at it? But so far he hasn't quite gotten it yet.
Fouled straight back. We saw it actually Tuesday night in the county championship game. Kid had a great breaking ball, and the umpire was kind of giving him the outside corner, so he just kept going to it. Let me see how far I can inch out and still get that call, as that's hit pretty well to center field, but under it is Sean Sullivan for the out. 400 to dead center field here at Municipal Stadium. 330 down each line, and 369 in the right field gap, 348 in the left field gap. But as you said, Jetstream seems to be pretty good in the left field area.
Yeah, there'll be balls that'll be hit that way, and you think, well, that looks like a routine fly ball, and the next thing you know, the left fielder's watching it go over the fence. We have seen some, you know, we have a little walkway behind the fence. Some of those balls are going beyond that.
Oh, wow. Filson at the dish, 273 on the year for the senior right fielder.
We were mentioning in the earlier game, if I were a left-handed hitter, I might turn around and hit right. I might just be able to get a fly ball out that way.
It's like playing a Wrigley's. Boy, Lipscomb's awake now as he takes one right off the old mask. And quickly it's 1-2. And you got to love what the umpire does. He took it off the mask. He comes out from behind the plate. Let me give you some time. Yep. I know the other night at Wrigley Field, CB Buckner took one off the mask, and he left the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whoa, way above his head.
We had the umpire in our second game. The first base umpire didn't get out of the way of a line shot and caught him on the leg, but he stayed in the game.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's got a mark, I'm sure.
Well, I've seen this year, too, a catcher backswing come around and hit him in the head, and they had to go on the concussion disabled list.
Wow.
One of the few breaking balls we've seen from Johnson, but a little bit high, and now the count has been full. Just reached out, put the bat on the ball, which is what you love, and Filson shoots it down the right field line. Hits off of the inlet there, and Filson makes his way to second with the double. Another run in scoring position with less than 2 outs. That's just to hang with them, and he just sticks the bat out there, and boy, that thing just hugged inside the line.
Well, he knew he was going to have to swing the bat. It was too close to call if he was going to let that one go, so that's a great piece of hitting there by Filson.
And he got the break, too, because the foul territory going down the first base line is pretty good, but then all of a sudden it just juts in.
Yeah.
And it's very narrow from about halfway into right field down the line. He caught that, and it kicked out straight, so the right fielder did not play it very well, which allowed him to get to second. Johnson looking for a strikeout or a pop-up here. And that's exactly what he got.
Well, Holly really should have been looking at ball one right there, anticipating a different pitch and just fishing for that one on the outside. So really not a good at-bat that time by Holly.
And here's a big at-bat for Manchester, not just because you still have that runner in scoring position. 2 outs for Mitchell Baker, but he gets something done here. You flip the lineup back over to the top, and those are your big run producers.
Well, he had a 3-for-3 game earlier today, so swinging a hot bat here at the number 9 hole.
Interesting, the fake bunt with 2 outs. That'll bring Reed in on the green part of the turf. Normally what we would say is the cut of the grass, but shoots that off the right side out of play. You can hear that hit the old concrete in the bleachers.
So we won't be using that ball again, will we?
No, I probably got a little flattened on it. Johnson looking to pitch out of another jam. Living outside, just can't quite get that spot he wants for the call.
Well, I guess as long as he's not hurt too much, keep trying it, right?
Might as well. Another chopper to third. Reed's got it. Got to get a good throw over there. Not a good throw, and it gets by easily. And that allows the runner to go to third. He couldn't advance to third. You don't want to run when the play's in front of you as the runner, which is why he didn't take off. But that allows Filson to go to third. Another throw from Reed that handcuffs early. And now you got
a heads-up play.
Nobody called time. And so Baker makes his way to second. Now,
heads-up baseball.
It is heads-up baseball because now you got top of the lineup again with Stevens and 2 runners in scoring position. Breaking ball outside for ball 1. Yeah, if they don't call time, the play is still live, and you can see, as he gets off the bag there, nobody's saying anything, and he just goes.
Yeah.
Foul ball off to the right.
Well, question now is, with 2 away, if Manchester can take full advantage of those mistakes in this inning, that'd be big.
Stevens walked in the first. Again off to the right side.
I wonder when Reed made that play at third, if he just kind of double clutched a little bit, because again, I think he just held onto that baseball a little too long.
Both throws, have been short.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things from up here noticing so far is they've had a really hard time catching up to Stevens' fastball. Everything's to the right side of the diamond.
Yeah.
So this is a case where you probably want to stick with the fastball because you don't want to speed up their bat by throwing a breaking ball. Oh, there he goes, and he got him. Big strikeout for Stevens, and that'll retire the side, but 2 men left on base. Another error, and at the end of 1.5, 1-0 Manchester.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium Black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Back at Kokomo to recap what has gone on so far in game number 1 this morning. Manchester defeated Bluffton 11-3, which is why Manchester is playing now against the number 1 seed, and it was always going to be the lowest seed that would take on number 1 seed Franklin. In game 2, Rose-Hulman defeated Anderson 4-3, which means the 8 o'clock game tonight, Rose-Hulman will play the 2 seed Transylvania. 10 a.m. tomorrow, Anderson will take on Bluffton in an elimination game.
Well, we mentioned earlier Anderson had an opportunity to perhaps tie or win that game, and just you could see the frustration when that double play ended the ball game, because they really did at that point have Rose-Hulman on the ropes, you might say. But boy, you just can't make costly mistakes, and we saw even Bluffton earlier today make some base running errors and cost them in that game as well, even as well as Manchester played.
Matt Early, the first baseman, at the plate. Hitting only .212, however, 37 RBIs and slugs .515. And when he hits it, it goes a long way. And that's up in the air, and that's carrying. And I got a feeling that's going to be out of here. And that's on the sidewalk, just like you talked about, Troy. And quickly, it is tied at 1 on a long ball by Matt Early.
Well, you can see when you look at Holly looking up, and the ball just kept going and going and going. But that's the kind of day it is right now. It is certainly, if you're a right-handed hitter, you have every chance to get a home run.
That'll be number 13 on the year for Early. And Noah Wood will step to the plate now. Wood's hitting .326. He is a sophomore. The young man has 38 RBIs, and that's shot to the right side between the first and second baseman, and a runner on, still nobody out, and Franklin's feeling pretty good so far.
Well, I think that'll kind of wake him up a little bit with the early home run. You know, any of those home runs we've seen today, I mean, it's not even close. They're leaving this ballpark the way they are, and so if you're Hooks now, got to regain your composure a little bit, keep the ball low in the strike zone, and don't let this become a big inning.
Jonathan LaGuire Cruz at the plate now. This young man, a freshman, .343, .441 on base, .701 slugging, and he also has 13 home runs. Ooh, that's a rocket to the right side.
He's got a heck of a beard, too, by the way.
He does. He goes to the same barber you do, though, I think.
Yeah. The problem is, I mean, I don't know if I could get the beard, but there's definitely no hair on top for me, so he's got an advantage.
Well, looking at the website, I don't think he has any hair on top either.
Well, maybe he does that on purpose, though. What do you think? He shaves it so the beard looks big.
He gotta look mean.
Yeah, he does look mean.
I mean, he's got 13 bombs, right?
Yeah, he does.
Let's see what he does here against the lefty. Ooh, got him swinging. That'll be the first out of the inning. And second baseman Dylan Redmond will come to the plate.
You know, Hooks is like, yeah, you might look mean, but That pitch was meaner.
Yes, it was a nice pitch in the outside corner.
It was.
So now if you're Hooks, you're looking for a hard ground ball somewhere, try and turn it over and get out of this, even at 1. Still, the umpire's still not. He's like, nope, you're not getting that call, either side. But that's all you can ask for, consistent, and he has been so far. That one got it. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think just about every but one home run today has been a solo home run.
Oh, wow. Went upstairs and got another strikeout, 2 in a row. 2 hits, then 2 Ks, and that'll leave it up to Luke Willman, the DH.
Boy, if Hooks can get out of this with just the solo home run, I mean, you got to feel pretty good about where he's sitting right now.
Starts off with a strike. Willman's got some good numbers, but he's only played in 12 games this year. So he's getting a good feel here at the end and playing well enough that he gets that DH spot in the lineup. And he's now quickly down 0-2.
Well, you can just kind of look at this Franklin team and see why they're hitting as well as they are. I mean, they're very aggressive at the plate, keep that head down, bring that ball through the zone.
Kind of that John Daly mentality, grip it and rip it, right?
That's right.
Tried to see if he'd go fishing, did Hooks, and Willman said, not today. Elevated, got the last 2 batters in that elevated fastball. Willman paying good attention, laid off of it. And he runs the count full from 0-2 to full. So the runner will be off Wood at first. So anything in the gap's definitely going to score a run.
Yeah, be aggressive here at the plate.
And there's the throw at first.
You know, when we saw Layson throw earlier, what was interesting, he was working very quick. I mean, just quick.
Mm-hmm.
From the stretch, not as good, but from the windup, and I think he got some of the hitters a little bit off kilter there for Bluffton.
And he walked. Great at bat there by Willman to come back from 0-2 to get the walk. Woodall with a second. That'll go to Colby Reed.
We have seen time and time again, just in the first 2 games, what teams are capable of doing when there's 2 outs. So don't believe that this inning is over yet, because this could still be big for Franklin.
Reed has 20 RBIs from that 9 slot and takes the ball outside. Last thing you want to do if you're Hooks here is let Reed get on and go back to Sanders at the top of the lineup. It's a good pitch right there.
Yeah, see now Quickie is working now.
Just a little bit high, boy. And you would talk about two veteran coaches going on, you know, matching up against each other. These 2 guys have had many a battle.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of mystery between the 2.
No, they probably know each other really well.
There are so many good coaches in this conference, too.
3-1 the count. That's a hitter's count. Got the strike. Runs the count full. Runners will be off again here on this payoff pitch. See what Reed does with it. Fouls it back.
And what are the odds over the years they compete for the same players, too, around the state
100%.
of Indiana?
Yeah. We could probably look at both these rosters and see that. Fouled off to the right side a little bit further.
We saw some of the great battles in our first 2 games, guys hanging in there, and a lot of the guys, again, at the bottom of the order, just being able to battle and then come up with a big base hit. You don't think the number 9 guy'd be that strong, but boy, they certainly are.
Once again, payoff pitch. Inside, bases now loaded. And this is the danger zone right here for Hooks. As the bases are loaded for Franklin's A.J. Sanders.
Well, again, time and time again, you talk about how walks will kill you. And 2 straight walks now. Let's see if Sanders can get the job done here at the top of the order.
Got the 2 hits, then got 2 strikeouts, and now he's loaded the bases. What can Hooks do to get out of this? And right through the middle, Sanders not wasting any time, and that's going to score 2 as it rolls all the way out to the gap. And Sanders, with his speed, gets to second with a 2-run double.
And you noticed right there, Sanders wasted no time. He went right after that first pitch, probably knowing that Hooks, after back-to-back walks, needed a strike to get ahead of the hitter, and that's what your leadoff hitter's supposed to do, and he did exactly what he was asked to do.
No rest for the weary for Hooks as he's got Sean Sullivan who hit a deep fly ball to center field in the first.
Well, I'm not sure that even though some of the numbers you go, well, he doesn't hit quite as well, but I don't know if there's a time off in this lineup at all.
No, you can't relax at all. And Sullivan saw a pitch he liked and was going after it as well.
And what are we seeing again? 2-out rally by another squad.
2-out runs. That one's going to stay in play, maybe. Oh, it does. What a nice play by Haynes to get the out. And Hooks works out of the inning, but gives up 3 runs on 3 hits. 3-1.
They should be GR, not FR.
You know what the funny thing is?
Oh, he's not a freshman?
He was at Marion the last 4 years, transferred years ago.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Three to 1 here in Kokomo. Franklin with the 3 spot in the bottom of the second. Final from Transylvania, the home-standing Pioneers defeat Manchester 11-4 in the softball tournament. And hitting here is Zach White. He was the one that scored in the first inning for Manchester.
By the way, we had a correction on LaGuire in right field. It was a typo. He's not a freshman. He's a grad student who was at Marion. So that's,
gotcha.
You know, when you get to be 23 years old, that's why your hair's gone, your beard's there. See, he's freshman grad student.
I know. I mean, paying attention to the Heartland Conference website, he was. Oh, that's a rocket into right field. Speaking of, right to LaGuire Cruz for out number 1. He was. He and Sanders, I think, the last 2 weeks have been hitters of the week.
Yeah.
For the Heartland Conference, so you know these guys swing the sticks if they're getting all those accolades. Rocco Haynes, the catcher for Manchester. He went 1 pitch and grounded out to short in the first.
Never really cared for my mother naming me Troy. I want to be called Rocco.
Rocco. I can't help but think of it. Eddie Murphy. Yo, Rocco. And off to the right side. But then there's Rocco Baldelli, played for the Tampa Bay Rays, now the manager for Minnesota Twins.
There you go.
You know you're getting old when guys you remember teams drafting out of college are now managers.
Yeah, you're getting up there, Sean.
Yeah, thanks. That's up in the air. I don't think that one's got the distance, though. Sanders looks like he might get it. He is under it for the second out.
Well, Johnson, his pitch counted 51 on the last reading that we have. And by the way, we're following live stats, and you can follow them as well on the HCAC website. So he could use an inning where he has few pitches.
Bring up Joel Kennedy. Yeah, it's nice to have those live stats going. HeartlandConf, CONF.org is the website. Two and oh the count. That's the beauty of college sports.
Yeah.
You have to have all the stats out there, which is a wonderful thing for us as a broadcaster. That hit off the knob of the bat.
It did. That's foul ball there for Kennedy.
The probability of that seems like it would be so unlikely, yet you see it all the time.
Yeah. You don't get out of the way there in time.
Ground ball to Reed. Let's see if he can get a good throw over there to first base. He does. 5-3 and 3 up, 3 down. That's exactly what you wanted if you're Franklin.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
We are back at Kokomo. Take a look here. As you can see, the ball hit the knob of the bat here in slow motion. Super slow.
So you'll get a good look at this one.
You will. I don't think that was the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the pitch. But with all the body armor these guys wear nowadays,
yeah,
like that's why they stand so close to the plate. And you see a lot of pitchers that don't ever want to come inside.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about anything from something on the wrist to the forearm to the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Just aren't as tough as they were when we played. We didn't have anything.
No. Well, I think one of the things too with hitters nowadays is they want to be able to reach that pitch on the outside part of the plate, but yet they can still open up the hips and turn on that inside pitch and pull it down the line. So they're trying to get more plate coverage.
We were talking, you and I were together, we're talking about how hitters really crowding the plate these days. I mean, they're right up in there. It's amazing.
Very, very close.
We had to wait for catcher to get a new piece of equipment there.
And you can see Tyson Lipscomb, he's right there. And the line drive, just over the outstretched glove of Baker, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall. That's at least 2 bases for Lipscomb. He will stop there in a leadoff double for the senior.
We saw Baker in that early game make a couple of really spectacular plays. He and White at short and second. That one just out of his reach.
It's amazing how they can hit the ball in line where the shortstop just misses it, and yet it somehow gets all the way to the wall.
Yeah, weird, huh?
I think that's called exit velocity, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Exit velo.
Do we have that on our stat sheet anywhere?
Well, we'll see, and we'll see what Early can do. We know what he did first. He deposited one near the flagpoles on the other side of the wall in the second. Well, that's a nice inside breaking ball there by Hooks.
Well, this could be a big inning for Hooks. Again, you gave up 3 runs in the second, that double right there.
Yeah, leadoff. To have your leadoff man get in scoring position with no outs is a huge advantage for this Franklin Grizzly baseball team. Again, stay tuned. We have Rose-Hulman versus second-seeded Transylvania at 8 o'clock right here on HCAC.tv. The teams that are on the unfortunate end of these two games, that one doesn't quite have the distances. Baker's going back and makes the catch. Still a little bit of a test there. Of this game and the next game at 8 o'clock, the teams that lose those two games will play the 1:15 game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Game number 2. Noah Wood singled and scored in the second. Got to make sure and get all their walk-up music right.
You know, to do like the NBA, they just play music no matter
Just
what
keep
they're doing.
It, yeah. I was trying to think the Cubs called up a first baseman, Matt Mervis, for his first time in the major leagues, and I think his walk-up song was from like the early '80s, maybe
Really?
Toto or something like, or yeah, something like. It was
Toto.
fantastic.
Wow.
Like, oh, young buck there, going retro. And of course, my wife looks at me and goes, "You of all people would catch that." I was like, yeah, that's when I grew up. 3-0 the count now on Wood. That's a strike. Where are we at with Hooks' pitch count?
He is up to 42. Not bad at this point, but love to have an easy inning.
And he walks Wood. That'll put runners at first and second with 1 out. And LaGuire Cruz coming to the plate.
So that's now 3 walks by Hooks, and I don't care how many baseball games you see, that's always going to come back to get you.
And again, this is a guy that can mash. 13 home runs, 45 RBIs on the season. And the flags seem to have picked up out there in left field as he shoots this one out to right field. They're playing him off the line, and that hits fair, but the bounce out of play. It's a ground rule double. Only 1 run scores. What an unfortunate break for LaGuire Cruz.
Yeah, that definitely would have scored Wood. Made this a 5-1 ball game, so a break right there for Hooks. First ball we've really seen driven to right field all day. But you can kind of see now this Franklin offense starting to pick things up.
Yes, that is true, as Dylan Redmond is at the plate. Bunted to the right side with the left-handed pitcher. He's got to make a tough play, and he can't do it. Give Hooks credit for trying to make the play, but the speed of Redmond gets the bunt down with the left-hander going off on the right side of the mound. A run scores, and LaGuire Cruz makes it to third.
Well, let me tell you what, Wood had a great jump down at third base. You could see that coming, but that was a perfect bunt there by Redmond.
What a call. Inside strike to Luke Willman. He walked and scored in the second. He scored on the double by A.J. Sanders. Popped up. Ooh, that one sounded rough. Again, runners at first and third, now 1 out. And again, Hooks is in a danger spot right here.
Yeah, he needs to get an out here.
Nice.
Try to keep this from being a big inning.
Nice pick by Haynes there. Although I don't think you want that throw to first if you're Coach Espinette.
Yeah, if that gets by.
Espacette, I'll get it right. I apologize.
That gets by. You're in trouble. Another run.
Big trouble. Chopper to third. LaGuire Cruz coming home. Nice throw from third by Knowles. An absolute strike to cut him down at home. 5-2 on the putout. That'll be the second out. LaGuardia Cruz was off with the ping of the bat, but just an absolute outstanding play by Knowles at third.
Yeah, he short hopped that ball, and boy, the perfect throw as well. If it's even a little bit off.
Yeah, it was right on the money.
Was.
Colby Reed at the plate. He walked in the second. And again, this is a guy you want to get out. As that hit him, it don't get out. He's on base twice without swinging the bat, and now you got the bases juiced for the top of the lineup. And A.J. Sanders, we saw what he did last time.
Boy, I hate to see that if you're Hooks, because you got that big out, the nice play by Knowles. And But you know what I like about Franklin? They just keep coming at you. So you're really going to have to be very careful here with Sanders.
Relentless. Swinging at the first pitch, grounds it at too short. Baker over to White for the putout, and Sanders is probably kicking himself for swinging at that first pitch, but he gets out of the inning. 2 more runs, though, 5-1 Franklin.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Franklin has sent 8 hitters to the plate in each of the last 2 innings, and it's netted them 5 runs as they lead 5-1 here in the top of the 4th. 1-3-0 for Manchester. 5-6-2 for the Grizzlies.
Well, they got off to a slow start. First inning. Again, you're playing your first game of the tournament, but boy, again, this is a Franklin team that can turn it on just like that, and they have done that, and it's going to take a really good effort for Manchester to not only come back but hold Franklin down even further the rest of the way.
Pittsford at the plate. He made the last out in the first inning for Manchester. That just fouled down the third base line. 285 on the season, 620 slug, and he's got 13 home runs on the season. So he gets the one up in that jet stream. He could cut the lead. Ooh. Breaking ball. He was right on it, fouled it straight back.
Well, he is one of those that hit a home run in the earlier game that, again, we saw it get into the stratosphere and just keep flying. And we mentioned the home runs he has hit, but this guy's got some power.
Tried to elevate a fastball, did Johnson. A little bit too high. As we see, is that Transylvania out there? And that was a line shot. It's going to get down and up on the defense, and that'll be a double for Pittsburgh. Good start to the 4th for the Spartans.
Yeah, got every bit of that one. And boy, he's so dangerous at number 5. I love the way he swings the bat. Let's see if Manchester can get something going here in the 4th inning.
Didn't get it elevated quite enough, but he put a charge into that one. And the young man at the plate now, Knowles, and Hooks had to come up and thank him for that play at third base, or it could have been an even bigger inning, the bottom of the 3rd. Just a little bit high and outside from Johnson. Knowles flew to center, and oh, that was so close at second.
We had seen a couple of pickoffs in our earlier games, too, so you got to be very, very careful whether you're at first or second. The pitchers had some nice moves.
A little bit low. For those of you that have never seen a game at Kokomo and are wondering what the black is, this field's all turf. Those are those little rubber pellets.
Yes.
I've never slid on turf. I'm not sure how it would feel.
Well, I bet you 10-1 that if you want to, between games, we can get you out there.
Nah, I kind of like this pair of pants, so I don't think I want to ruin them. And good at bat by Knowles, draws a walk. I think, my calves and knees still have PTSD from sliding with shorts on playing softball back in the day, so I'm not sure I want to bring those memories back up. All right, Cole Filson to the plate, and we are going to get a meeting at the mound from Coach Marshall. 2 runners on, nobody out, and Filson doubled his last time up. I'm sure they're talking strategy here.
Well, you don't want to certainly give up a big inning, and what do they talk about when they come out there? Sometimes it can be, hey, listen, just settle down, throw. You got guys who really play good defense behind you, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Let's just don't give up a big inning, because Manchester was able to do that earlier today, and when they kind of set the tone, they really started rolling.
Are you sure they're not talking about wedding registry gifts?
Could be, yeah. And the funny thing is, if you ever talk to a coach or manager, sometimes they don't talk strategy. They just go out there and maybe make a joke or something, just try to calm you down a little bit.
Yeah, get your mind off it. That was a Bull Durham reference, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew. Yeah.
That went right over my head, didn't it?
Yeah. They had that meeting at the mound, and they're talking about what to get. Yeah. Showing my age again. All right, Cole Filson again. He doubled in the second. And a big moment here now for Johnson. Hasn't had much stress since that first inning, Troy.
Yeah, he had a runner stranded at second and third in the second inning, but was able to pitch his way out of it. But here the difference is you have no outs.
I don't know if you can see this, but the Franklin uniforms are pinstripe. Ooh, didn't get that call. The fake bump by Pilson.
I can see that now.
Yeah,
like that?
The binoculars help.
It does.
I don't know. I kind of, because they kind of have that Michigan vibe, I'm not feeling the pinstripes. Bunt down to first base and tags him out at first. Does early. And that'll advance the runners. You don't mind that. 3 unassisted on the out, and now you got 2 runners in scoring position for Jared Hawley.
Did the right thing, got it to the right side. Bottom line is get those runners advance 90 feet, let Hawley go to work.
Hawley wants a little retribution for his strikeout in the second, and he takes a strike to start this AB.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little hurt that you're talking bad about my Michigan Wolverines here.
No. I'm not talking bad. I'm saying because Franklin has that Michigan vibe. Like Michigan doesn't have pinstripes, so I'm not. It's hard for me to see the pinstripes and go, that's a good look.
Yeah, it's not connecting. I see.
Yeah. Now what would be? I would like the piping. That would be a nice look.
Yeah.
Swinging strike. I'm way too much of a uniform nerd, so.
That's all right.
Fouled that one off. Did Hawley. Stays alive.
For those that don't know, you being from Illinois, and, I'm not really a big Illinois fan, and you're not a big Michigan fan, so that kind of is natural, right?
But yet we're friends. Isn't it amazing?
Weird, isn't it? Yeah. You like the Cubs, I like the Cardinals.
Oh, just a little bit high on the breaking ball. Who says miracles still don't occur nowadays?
And we're roomies tonight.
Oh, man.
Got a big party planned.
Oh, I'm telling you. Is it a CPAP party? Because I brought mine.
Yeah. I invited our camera guys to come to the party, but it's got to be done by 10:15. So.
Starts at 10.
Yeah, it's at 10:15.
All right, we watched the weather. We're good. Fouled off to the right side. Well, yeah, this last weekend when we had those really bad thunderstorms, our dogs were a mess.
Oh, I bet.
So they came and woke us up, and I look at the clock, it's 3 a.m., and listen downstairs. My oldest and his buddies are still watching movies at 3 a.m. Got the K again on Holly. Big out there for Johnson. They'll leave it up to Baker to get those runs home.
Yeah, that is a big strikeout. But again, as much as we've talked about it, we've had so many two-out rallies that you got to really come back down and get Baker, because Baker's been swinging a hot bat so far today.
He grounded it to Reed earlier and reached on the air by Reed. Oh, breaking ball over the inside corner for a strike. So he put the bat on the ball. Reed now drifts a little bit behind the bag as he was in a little bit for pitch number 1. Outside corner, and boy, Baker has his work cut out for him now, down 0-2, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. 2 big runs out there for Manchester.
Oh,
got him swinging. What a jam session there by Johnson to get out of it. Still stays 5-1 here. The middle of the fourth.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Opportunity for Manchester in the top of the fourth. They leave men in scoring position. 2 men second and third. Got that bunt down with no out to get them in second and third, and then 2 consecutive strikeouts by Matthew Johnson gets out of the inning, and now Hooks looks to get things started here in the bottom of the fourth.
I think Hooks has to have a really good inning right here if they're to stay in this game.
2, 3, and 4 set to come to the plate for Franklin as Sean Sullivan's here now. He's flown out. Well, he's flat out and popped out. He wants to get in this hit parade. As you got to like it if you're the number 2 hitter and it's the 4th inning and this is your 3rd AB.
Yeah. Well, still, when you look up at the scoreboard, Franklin just 6 hits. Go along with those 5 runs, so it isn't like they're on a big hitting barrage so far.
That's to the right side. That's high. Out there is Filson. He camps under it and makes the catch. First out. That'll bring up Tyson Lipscomb.
You know, I see Hooks throw. Sometimes you think about trying to get location on where he wants to throw the baseball. And when he's on, he's getting the outs, but he'll make a mistake and leave it out over the plate, and that's what cost him in the last couple of innings.
Well, you take into account, you got 3 walks, too, to go along with those 6 hits in 3 innings, so those numbers will add up quickly.
Yeah, 2 of those walks have come back to score. If Reed doesn't get stranded at third there in that second inning, that would have been another one.
Lipscomb 1 for 2, doubled and scored in his last at-bat. Hooks down in the zone is 3-0 the count now on Lipscomb. The lone senior in the lineup, although LaGuire Cruz, a graduate student. Lipscomb walks on 4 pitches And that'll bring up early. He's hit an absolute tank out to left field in the second and then flew out to short right field in the third.
Well, sometimes you watch Hooks again. I think he's trying to be too fine. Just go attack those hitters and let your defense work behind you, but you're trying to pick and choose around the plate so much that I think he's just not as fine-tuned as he'd like to be.
Yeah. Early was on that one as he fouled it straight back. I don't know if we didn't tell you this, but at Victory Field on Tuesday, we were up in one of the suites just to the right side of home plate. And I cannot even begin to tell you with the pitches outside how many foul balls we had come our direction. And I kid you not, one hit the glass right in front of Coach Scott and I. Literally hit the glass.
Wow.
Like it would have hit our knees had nothing been there.
So you didn't have the windows open or anything, or could they not open?
Oh. No, not in the suite. I mean, the door was there.
I see. Yeah, that's right.
But, I mean, all the kids came up and were chasing all the foul balls in the upper deck, and
making people nervous, huh?
Yeah. Billy Ludlow was there for security to make sure they didn't knock us off the air.
Ludlow's kind of a tough-looking character, isn't he?
Well,
I'd stay away from him.
Former fireman and security officer. 2-2 the count here. Got under that one as it's going to go out to short right field again. Baker out there backing up. Falls down but makes the catch. Early's gotten some pitches to hit. One he took advantage of. The other two just a little bit underneath him.
Yeah, he had them both again to the shortstop. The only thing you look at Baker backpedaling on that one, I'd still rather have my outfielder come in and make that play.
I agree with you on that. Noah Wood comes to the plate. He is 1 for 1 with the walk and 2 runs scored. For as much as we talked about how much Franklin runs in the pregame, they haven't really done much of it today.
No, they have not. They have been very conservative on the base paths so far.
And I would imagine if you're Coach Marshall, you'd like to see Johnson get a lot of innings in to save your bullpen.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that earlier today, and that's why it was so big at the time where Manchester gets the complete game, save their bullpen for today in their second game. Because, again, pitching in this conference sometimes not as strong as you'd like it to be, and you have to use a lot of arms to get through this tournament.
Evens the count at 2. Well, Transylvania led the conference in ERA, and their team ERA was 5.14.
Yeah.
So that'll tell you something right there. As the count is full, runner will be off. Fouled straight back. Lipscomb goes back. No courtesy runners in college?
I don't think so. I don't like courtesy runners in any level.
Ground ball just past Baker. Lipscomb will make the turn since he was off with the pitch. He'll make it into third on the single by Wood, who's 2 for 2.
A good piece of hitting right there. Had a 3-2 count, got the fastball right down the middle.
Want to bring up LaGuire Cruz. Yeah, the worst runner is the ghost runner in extra innings.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Well, it's funny because the Cubs announcers call it the Manfred Man since Rob Manfred came up with it. I always want to sing, Blinded by the Light when that happens. So. Upstairs for ball 1, last at bat, LaGuire Cruz, ground rule double to right field. Did not get the call on the outside, and boy, I'm telling you what, 2-0 in this situation. LaGuire Cruz is looking, if you're in my nitro zone, I'm going to lift and separate.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did.
He did, but I think it was a little bit up for him. He still may be ready to pull the trigger. Put some distance between these two squads. taken there. Back at the same spot, 3-1. Hitters count.
That's good patience there by LaGuire Cruz, though. Want to get a pitch you can drive right here.
Yeah, turn and burn. He did, but again, just got under it. That's going to be a tough play as Redmond makes it, though. Excuse me, that's White. Fly out to second. No damage done. We'll be back for the 5th.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Top of the 5th here in Kokomo, men's baseball championship on HCAC.TV. Franklin leads Manchester 5-1. Just getting started down in Lexington at Transy. Game number 4 of the softball tournament, and it features the counterpart of the Franklin Grizzlies, the women's softball team, against Mount St. Joseph. So if you want to check out some softball action, stay on HCAC.TV and just flip over to the women. We got both tournaments all weekend long. Thanks to Jay Jones, Stacy Ledoux, and all the crew for allowing us to do this. It's an absolute pleasure. As we get set for the top of the 5th, top of the lineup for Manchester, Aiden Stevens to lead it off. He is 0 for 2.
Well, here's where you kind of like get things going a little bit. You're down by 4 runs. You're still plenty of time, but Johnson has looked so good over the last couple of innings.
You definitely you want some kind of spark.
79 pitches now by Matthew Johnson.
And right up the middle it is, and a base hit, maybe just what the doctor ordered for the Spartans.
Well, and Stevens is a stolen base threat. Only problem is you're down by 4 runs, so that probably negates any attempt there by Stevens. And you're coming up with 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, Aiden Stevens, 6 of 8 on the year, stolen bases. Zach White now, he has reached once and scored and flew out to right field. Takes a breaking ball, 4 strike 1. And there he goes. Oh, check swing. Nice play there, however, by Redmond, who was out of position, going to cover the bag, but saw the ball get hit. Comes back to make the play, 4-3, but Stevens does advance to second on the play.
Yeah, that's a nice recovery there by Redmond. He was heading down to help cover, as you said, second base, but ball took that nice big bounce and it enabled him to come back and get it.
Excuse me, swing there from
look out
White, and there it is. Rocco Haynes at the plate. He is 0 for 2 as well. Runner in scoring position. Nice pitch by Stevens. Gets him swinging. He's down now 0-2. Manchester has had chances, Troy.
Yeah.
They've had people in scoring position.
They certainly have. And, boy, you look back over especially the last 2 of the 3 innings. They had runners at second and third in the second, runners at second and third in the fourth.
Just need that clutch hit and get the runner home. 1 out here. Chopper to first. Up with it unassisted is Early. And now there's 2 outs. Runner at third. Stevens advances on the putout. And Joel Kennedy will come to the plate.
Well, if I was Manchester, I'd feel a whole lot better about that if I only had 1 out and got the runner to third.
Yeah.
But with 2 outs right here, Boy, this would be another runner in scoring position 90 feet away. It'd be tough to leave him down there.
It would. As you continuously, if it happens and it continuously happens, that can be very deflating, I think, for a team.
Well, we saw that in the Bluffton game. You know, they came back and got those 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the momentum was going their way. Come back in the next inning, Manchester gets 2 runs, and you could just see how that deflated them.
Oh, he wanted to pull the trigger. Safety was on, though, and he takes it 1-1 the count. Kind of playing him straight up in the outfield. Middle infielders on the edge of the brown. And what nice breaking ball from Stevens. I want to say edge of the dirt, but we're just going to go with colors.
Yeah. Is that maroon or what is it?
I'm just going brown.
Brown.
Well, it's Mays. That's going to go straight to early at first, unassisted again, and that'll do it. 2 ground balls to early to get out of the inning after the leadoff single by Stevens. We're headed to bottom of 5.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Reaching out.
I like that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's Neil Diamond's
yes,
playing.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
We're back here for the bottom of the 5th. Manchester and Franklin. Game number 3, men's HCAC baseball tournament.
You know, but you got to be careful if you reach out and touch somebody these days. You know, you might get socked in the nose. You know.
Yes. Personal space is important. Someone needed to teach Neil Diamond about that.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, they didn't know that back in the 70s.
That's true.
They were
7, 8, 9.
I was just going to say they're up to 60s. They're still love and all that stuff, you know.
Redmond up to the plate for Franklin. He's 1 for 2, singled in the 3rd. As man, oh man, Knowles is hugging that line at 3rd. And he shoots it to right field. Filson is there fighting off the sun, and he's got it.
You know, we got a little bit of high cloudiness right now, but not a high sky like you normally have. But, boy, we're keeping our fingers crossed, though, for tomorrow.
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it, but we're just going to keep our fingers crossed tomorrow.
Willman, the DH, coming to the plate. He has not registered an official at-bat yet. Fielder's choice and a walk, but scored. And Franklin's just not going to waste any time with this lead. They're going to come up to the dish swinging. Knowles still guarding the line at 3rd. Outfield straight away, a little deeper in right. That's a rocket right into center field. And oh no! Stevens doesn't get it, and it goes all the way to the wall. That's going to be 3 for Willman at the very least. And Coach says, you can stop right there, young man. You're probably tired.
Man, that's tough there in center field for Stevens, and he had a really good jump on it, but
you could almost see the brain going, do I slide for this? Do I dive for this? Or can I get this one hop? And the wrong one happened, as you see. It's just like a sinking line drive and right by him. And, oh.
You know, really, when you look at that, the bottom line is keep that ball in front of you no matter what.
Yeah. Reed now to the plate. He has no at-bat either. He's walked and been hit by a pitch. He'll take a strike, looking to get an RBI here. Extend that lead for the Grizzlies. That'll do it. Fly ball into deep center field. Stevens under it. And in comes Willman. That's close, a lot closer than I expected.
Yeah, Stevens got that ball back quickly.
But Willman scores on the sack fly by Reed. Still no at bat for Reed then.
You know what? He's probably thinking, as long as I got the RBI, right?
He was okay. Stevens, 1 for 3. And how many pitches has he seen? Maybe 5?
Yeah, not many.
As Filson comes in to make the catch, and just like that, finish the bottom of the 5th, and it is 6-1 Manchester. Misplay by Stevens, the big play.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Five, 6, 7 set to come to the plate for Manchester here in the top of the 6th, and time is running short for this Spartans team. They need to get a rally going as Franklin got one more in the bottom of the 5th. 1-5-0 for Manchester. 6-8-2 for Franklin. You've got Pittsford, Knowles, and Filson. They had kind of a rally going in the 4th, but Stevens managed to wiggle out of that jam. Maybe they can do something again to get things rolling here, Troy.
Well, they're beginning to run out of time, and you've managed just 5 hits. Johnson, even if he gets in trouble, you can't leave the amount of base runners in scoring position that they have so far. It's kind of like the walks again. It'll come back to haunt you every time, so they got to find a way to generate some runs here late in the ball game.
And swinging at that high fastball is Pittsford.
You know, we were doing a little hockey talk here with our staff here, great staff here that are helping us with everything. And they noticed, you know, of course, I got the Blackhawks hat on and got the number 1
good week.
pick. Yeah.
It was a good week.
Big week.
I was actually driving home, and my brother texted me that they got the number 1 pick.
But you've heard all the people complaining about
that.
Yeah,
well, I literally had to pull over to look to see if he was telling me the truth, because there was like a 16% chance.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was still a chance.
That's true. Like the New York Knicks getting Patrick Ewing back in the day. Maybe they froze the ping pong ball.
Yeah, you never know, but we're taking it.
100%. 1-2 the count here.
You know, there was always that talk back then when the Knicks got that little corner was.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard the frozen envelope.
Yeah.
Lots of conspiracy theories. Ooh, good breaking ball, just a little bit high. Well, the big thing now is, I think this year in Major League Baseball is, what are the Angels going to do? Because if they don't start to pick things up, as that's right back at us out of play, Shohei's not going to want to sign a contract with them. So it gets to the deadline, and you're not going to, be able to compete for a wild card. Now, does he get traded? What happens? It's going to be really interesting. That one was right at Jerry.
It was.
It was 100% right at Jerry. But with his superpowers, like Professor X, just
stopped it right there, didn't he?
Stopped it.
You mentioned the Angels. What a disappointment they've been over the years with the talent they've had.
You have Ohtani and Trout.
Yeah.
You can't do anything with it.
Nothing.
It's unbelievable. But just so much young talent on Major League level right now. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr. leads off the game today against the Twins with an absolute missile. I mean, ball didn't seem like it got 2 feet higher than the fence, and it got out like that. That one's got some distance, but not enough as Wood will catch it in left field for the out. Any ball hits a left field now, I feel like I'm a fan at Wrigley. I'm going, whoa.
Whoa, yeah, well, you should.
I don't like to be that guy.
No.
You know? Those fans that come to a game and they see a fly ball and it's like, oh, it's a can of corn in left field. And everybody's like, is it a home run? Knowles at the plate. Stevens is just, he's like, here it is, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 5-run lead. I'm going to throw strikes. Let's see what you can do.
Well, again, you hate to kind of think about how much time you have left, but it seems like that the deeper we go, the stronger he's getting.
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of the opportunities given to you, they're going to run out eventually.
Well, that was a really good breaking ball there. 1-2 the count now. Knowles has to step out and regroup after that one.
You know, you're probably hoping that Ohtani doesn't sign him. I think the Cubs are probably in line to get him, right? If they want to pay for that kind of money.
I do know in the list of teams that he said he would go to, the teams, all the teams but one were teams on the coast, and the one that wasn't was the Cubs, where he'd go to.
Okay.
So I would be happy with that.
I bet you would.
Nice breaking ball again by Stevens.
You notice I really don't bring that up anymore, the players that were lost off that one team and where they are. Remember, you didn't like me mentioning the players that have gone other places from Chicago.
Yeah.
So I try not to bring that up because
okay.
it can be tough.
When was the last time the Cardinals won a World Series?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Well, got him looking. Great pitch in the outside corner by Stevens, and Knowles will take a seat. That'll bring up Filson out. I won't mention either, like, who has the worst record in the National League. So
they're in last place, aren't they? I try not to look at the standings every day. It breaks my heart.
It doesn't break mine. Brings me joy.
I bet it does.
Up for ball one here to Filson. Filson doubled in the second.
Well, he looks just so strong right now.
I know. He struggled early, but it seems like he is getting stronger as the game goes on. Fouled off to the right side.
And Sean, we're talking about over 100 pitches now, too.
He's don't know whether they call him a workhorse or a bulldog or work dog bull horse. Ooh, that's going to be trouble unless nope. That gets down as Sullivan can't get to it. Does a great job though of getting it in to make Filson work for the double, but double nonetheless.
Yeah, never give up on an inning even if you have 2 outs, and that's what Filson did right there. Nice piece of hitting, taking it the opposite way.
Looks like we got a pinch hitter for Hawley here. That is number 11, Griffin Garwood. Junior outfielder. Hawley's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Well, you mentioned Hawley had a 1 for 4 ball game earlier in their win over Bluffton, but again, you need some production here at the bottom of the order, and just hasn't been a whole lot other than Filson with a couple of doubles, but Hawley 2 strikeouts. You have Baker getting on base with an error and a strikeout, so the bottom of the order is just not producing right now.
Yeah, and Stevens really had Hawley's number, just had him off balance all day. That pitch low and inside for ball 1. You got to get one of these runners home soon to give yourself a little bit of, okay, we're chipping into this. We got to chip away, chip away, chip away. That may do it as that's going to fall out to Wood. That'll score a run, but getting it back in keeps the runner at first, which is what you wanted. If you're Franklin, you'll sacrifice that run, but a nice AB there by Garwood gets the RBI.
Finally, if you go back to inning number 2, you had a runner at third, 2 runners in scoring position in the 4th, another one in the 5th. It took you to the 6th inning to finally get one in.
Baker comes to the plate now. He's reached on an error and struck out. Now, if you're Coach Espacet, you just want to let's keep the line moving. Just don't be the last out. Hitting is contagious. There we go. And there's another one. Oh, and it bounces away from Sullivan. Are they going to send him? They are going to send him. We're going to have a play at the plate. Oh, a good throw gets him. Short hops Lipscomb. He can't make the play. And to third, all the way to third goes Baker. Wow. And just like that, things are getting interesting.
Well, you have a error on the center fielder, Sullivan. That one got away from him. And then you're going to have a throwing error right here.
Good throw by Sanders, nails him.
Yeah, it does.
And Lipscomb can't quite get it. So now you flip the lineup back over and you get to Stevens at the top of the lineup. And it looks like we are going to have a little meeting at the mound. We see some stretching out in the bullpen, looks like. Can't see a number because kind of hiding behind the fence there, but Coach Marshall coming out to talk to Stevens here.
Well, here we go again, Sean. We talked about it in our earlier games. 2-run rallies. We have seen it again here. You had 2 outs. You got Pittsford. You got Knowles to strike out. Things are smooth sailing along there for Johnson. And the next thing you know, here we go. 2 big errors in the inning after the double by Filson, and Holly got that single, Baker single. It just, the thing is, those are things that you still may survive, but when you play a really good team, if you make it to the NCAA tournament, you'll find yourself quickly out of there.
Oh, yeah, the really good teams will always take advantage of your mistakes. Sam Peck up in the bullpen from Franklin. He's a junior from Indianapolis, Indiana, Bishop Chittard High School. See if the wise counsel from Coach Marshall helps Johnson get out of this inning. I think the big thing is do not worry about the runner at third.
Yeah.
We've got 2 outs. Let's just get the out.
Yeah, the 2 runs cutting that gap down to 3, but you're right. Get the out here, get out of the inning, and let's go back to work on offense.
Nice cut there by Stevens, and it's 0-1.
You feel bad for Johnson, too, because he's been throwing so well up until these last 3 hitters or so, but then those errors don't help.
Oh, the high cheese, and Stevens couldn't lay off. Now it's 0-2. And, Franklin has 2, 3, 4 set to come up here in the bottom of the 6th. So breaking ball looking to get the hook for the strikeout just a bit outside.
Talking about 114 pitches now by Johnson.
This is probably it for him no matter what. Oh, up and inside, and Lipscomb can't handle it. And that run will score, and just like that, it's 6-4.
Well, mistake after mistake here by Franklin, making this a whole new ball game. It's amazing how quickly old man momentum can kind of shift, and it has done that.
That is true, and Lipscomb will, you get back in the dugout, Lipscomb will tell you, I should have had that. Ooh, didn't get the call there either, and now the count is full. Stevens needs this pitch to get out of it, and Peck is hurrying in the bullpen to get ready. Foul ball right back to us. I feel like a magnet the last couple of games.
Had a couple close, huh?
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather have the window open and have a chance to catch some of those?
I'd rather be able to breathe through my nose. That wasn't even close, and Stevens walks, and I got a feeling we could see Captain Hook here in a second. Zach White coming to the plate.
Well, there's always that fine line, and when you're in tournament play like this and you need that bullpen down the stretch, the fine line is when do you make the decision to pull your pitcher.
Did not get the call there. Peck is 1-1 with a 6.33 ERA and 15 appearances, no starts. A little bit high.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Major League Baseball, bigger bases.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they make the plate bigger?
That's a great question. Oh, hello.
Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't it be more of a consistency around?
Well, I think that directly affects the strike zone.
Yeah. Doesn't it affect everything else when you have bigger bases out there, stolen bases and things like that? get outs easier because you can get a double play.
Well, sure.
So
the whole point is to get more action going for fans' sake.
A bigger plate wouldn't make that.
I mean, I'm sure it probably would, as Stevens was off with the pitch. And now it's 2-2.
You're not going to stand up there and walk as much, are you? If the plate's a little bit bigger,
I think you. I don't know.
Better swing that bat.
I like to see them get competent umpires that can call balls and strikes right in the pros. I feel like guys in high school and college do a much better job of it.
Well, it'll only be a matter of time before artificial intelligence takes over that part. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Chat GPT, is that going to say?
That's right.
Oh, got him swinging.
Oh, look out.
Whoo, lollipop there, but a nice play by Early to get the out, and that'll do it. But 3 big runs for Manchester, and we got ourselves a ball game heading to the bottom of the 6th, 6-4.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Top of the hour here on HCAC.TV as we head to the bottom of the 6th. 6-4 now is your score as Hooks comes back to the mound for the 6th inning of work. Garwood does stay in and go to left field after pinch hitting for Hawley in the top of the inning. And Sean Sullivan will come to the plate for the Grizzlies.
Hooks, by the way, at 89 pitches.
Now 90.
Now 90.
You know, that big 3 spot out there on the Franklin line score really has got to drive Coach Marshall crazy, because that has a lot to do with the number of runs that Manchester has scored.
Well, they got crazy throwing the ball around there in that last half inning.
Ripped right down to Knowles. Throw over to first was a little bit wide, but he's going to say he was on the bag, and that'll be 5-3 for the out.
Well, I'll tell you what, how many times you talk about a really good first baseman saving your skin.
Yes.
The ability to keep your foot on the base and still try to get that baseball no matter where it's thrown.
That was the MO of my, they're going to, Coach Marshall asking for some help on that play at first. That was the MO of my all-time, tied for my all-time favorite baseball player, Mark Grace.
Mark Grace.
See if we can get a close-up here of this. Was his foot on the bag?
It's going to be close.
That is going to be close.
Second time we've had a meeting like this. Had one in an earlier game.
I've already marked it in my book. They can't change it.
No, I can't do that. That's why I use penciling. Erase it. My score sheet always looks good after the game.
Good point. Oh, and they're going to say he's out. I would assume if they replayed it, they would say the call stands.
The call stands, yes.
Not confirmed, but stands. I don't know if many people know the difference. Confirm means the call was correct. Call stands means not enough evidence to overturn it.
That's right. It's got to be decisive.
Yep. Lipscomb. He's had himself a day. He flew out to left field, doubled and scored and walked in this lefty v lefty matchup. Boy, Franklin wants nothing more than to put a crooked number on the scoreboard after Manchester just did.
Oh, yeah.
Get a couple of those back, but this is imperative for Hooks to be able to set them down and not let them do it. Get back into the dugout and carry some of that momentum forward.
How many times has Hooks gotten that first hitter of the inning and then ends up walking or giving up a double, and the next thing you know, it turns into at least one run?
Was 3-1. Now it is 3-2.
And he's not a strikeout type pitcher. I mean, a left-hander, a lot of finesse. So as a hitter, you adjust as you go along. But one thing about it, though, Franklin had a runner in scoring position in the fourth, did not score, but then they came up with a run in the fifth inning.
And they got the strikeout there. Went with the high heater, and Lipscomb couldn't lay off of it. 2 outs, and you like seeing nobody on base when this young man comes up to the plate, because he hit a towering fly ball that left the yard, and then he's hit 2 towering fly balls that Baker's made plays on.
Yeah, he hasn't missed by much in that third and fourth innings. One thing you notice about Hooks is he really doesn't have much of a wind-up here. Everything is from pretty much the stretch.
You know who his wind-up reminds me of? Andrew Miller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Red Sox, Indians, Yankees, Cardinals. Yeah. Just the kind of the arm slot. And now he's 3-0. You taking here if you're early?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Unless he gives me such a juicy pitch.
He didn't, and that's a walk. Second time on base for Early, and that'll bring up Noah Wood, who is 2 for 2 with the walk and 2 runs scored.
Well, Carter is now over 100 pitches. He had that easy 1-2-3 first inning. Since then, it's really been, other than a little bit of shakiness in the fourth, he's just been struggling with consistency.
Did the rest of the booth agree with me on the Andrew Miller comparison?
I don't know. Do you all agree?
Okay,
Yeah.
All right, good. That's 5 consecutive pitches out of the zone for Hooks.
I hate
6.
I hate to tell you, but there's 2 Cardinal fans right here side by side.
I know. I'm trying not to get sick. Or contaminated, one of the two.
Oh, man, he's brutal.
Uh-oh. Back pick didn't work, and it's 3-0 now on Wood with the leading RBI and home run hitter for Franklin in the on-deck circle.
And right now, the idea for Hooks is get out of this inning.
Yeah, just get this last out. Oh, and I think he's going to. Just a bit under that one as well. Right fielder coming in, and he makes the play. Does Filson, and he gets out of it. Leaves LaGuire Cruz on deck. No runs. Manchester's coming back with a 2-run deficit.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We can close the book on Matthew Johnson for the Franklin Grizzlies as he is done for the evening. Sam Peck takes over on the mound. We'll get the final numbers for Johnson. Not sure how many the runs he gave up were earned or unearned, but 8 hits, 4 runs, but he had 3 errors behind him. Peck is a junior, I believe. Yeah, from Indianapolis, Indiana. 6.33 ERA. 1-1 record in 15 appearances, 1 save, 27 innings pitched, 19 runs, 15 walks, 20 strikeouts, and 1 save on the year.
Yeah, you mentioned Johnson. Ends up going 6 innings, 4 runs, 1 earned, 8 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, gave up 3 doubles, 1 wild pitch. Again, he probably could have been out of that inning a little bit earlier when they started throwing the ball around in the 6th inning. He had the first 2 outs and gave up 3 straight hits, had the 2 big errors and a walk, so that kind of
only 1 earned run.
Yeah.
Rocco Haynes lead off the top of the 7th for the Spartans. Fouls it at the dish. We'll see if we can get an update on maybe a softball score here in a minute. It is no score after 4 at the softball tournament, and Haynes gets hit by a pitch. He'll go down to first. Leadoff hitter's on, and Captain Mo may be looking at his Apple Maps going, Mom, may have to change direction.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was such a big inning in the 6th. Kind of felt again the momentum swinging over to Manchester. Now they get to the bullpen, which is exactly what you're looking to do, see if they can capitalize here.
And leadoff hitter on as that ball is foul from Kennedy. Kennedy is 0 for 3.
You know, you mentioned Sam Peck's numbers at a 6.33 ERA, so he's had some difficult times this year in 27 innings. So hasn't thrown a whole lot.
I think a lot of pitchers in the HCAC have had that. All these squads, looking at their numbers, the pitchers' numbers are so inflated. But then again, it's all the offensive numbers because there's some good hitters in this conference. Peck took his time there, and that shot into the right field gap. That's going to be a tough play for LaGuire Cruz, and he made it. Great arm to get it back in, not in time, but fighting the sun is LaGuire Cruz and makes the play.
Well, that was maybe the defensive play of the game. I almost looked like he didn't even see it at first. Look at this. He got it right there at the end, and his momentum taking him away from the bag. Otherwise, they might have had a shot at doubling off Haynes at first. But
what are they saying? Are they saying he went to second and then didn't touch it on the way back? That's what they're calling, and they appealed. And out comes Coach Esposito to see what's going on. So what happens is, he was running as if he thought it was going to be hit. If you touch second and go past it, you have to touch it again going back.
That's right.
The umpire is saying he didn't do it. They appealed, and they called the runner out.
Well, he's going to try to get an explanation right here. I don't think you can tell there, can you?
No, it was almost there. They focused in on the hitter, but you could see he got really close to the bag.
Well, this is going to be big right here for Manchester, taking a runner off base.
Oh, it's a great replay right here. Oh, yep, sure enough did. Touched the bag and wheeled it back to first. You got to touch the bag again.
Yep.
Second base umpire's right there. That's a great call. And fantastic camera work. And they're going to talk about it, but if they saw our replay, there would be no question that they got the call correct.
Yep. This is the 3rd time we have seen the entire group of umpires get together today.
Coach Esposito's only argument is he didn't go past the bag. He pushed off the bag. But it's going to be a tough one to sell right there.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to hope then that everybody in the Manchester dugout got a pretty good look down at second base, too. Here it is again. Whoop.
Man, I do not envy being an umpire, but I think it's a good call.
Yep.
And they're calling him out.
So how do they score that in my scorebook?
I didn't even try. I just put the 2 and circled it. So now Pittsford comes up with nobody on base and 2 outs. But you talked about the defensive play of the game there by LaGuire Cruz, not just catching the ball, but the ability of him to get the ball back in caused that second out to happen.
Yeah, that's right. Boy, at this stage in the game, you just can't afford to make a mistake like that. But give the base runner, I mean, let's face it, that doesn't happen that often.
0-2. And if he does, if he realizes what he did and went back to touch the base, that's more time for the first baseman to get back and maybe tag the bag to get him out there as well.
Exactly.
Try to get the breaking ball on the outside part of the plate.
Well, in really what the base runner should have done, you go halfway and see what happens. You don't go all the way down.
Yeah. Even if you think he's going to miss it, just don't touch the bag.
Yeah.
Because that's up in the air, and LaGuire Cruz is going to have himself another play here. This one much easier, and he does. Big play in that inning is that one right there. 6-4, heading to the bottom of 7.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We can discuss that play a little bit more, Troy, as we were talking about, all the things that went into that play. We got to give those middle infielders credit for noticing what happened to call for the appeal and get the out.
Yeah, you're probably thinking most of the time they're out there looking at the play out in right field, but that's really good heads-up baseball right there, and you don't see that very often.
No. Yeah, because the second baseman is going out into the outfield for a potential cutoff throw, so it's either the first baseman, the shortstop, or even the pitcher that's going, hey,
yeah,
we got to appeal it, throw it over here once. And then the whole thing is you have to get on the mound, get set, step off, and then throw for the appeal. There's so many little things you have to do right to make that play happen, and Franklin did them. Give him credit.
Well, if you looked at it from a different angle, you would think that maybe he didn't really make that turn toward third base either, and so I guess that would be the argument there too.
LaGuire Cruz, man in the middle of all that, rips a single into left field. I'd love to see the exit beetle on that one. That was a rocket.
Boy, no kidding.
That'll bring up Dylan Redmond. 1 for 3 on the evening. Now, if you're Franklin, if after all that went down at the top of the inning, you can then get some runs here, the momentum just shifts again.
Yeah, and you feel like you've missed so many opportunities if you're the Spartans here in this game.
Redmond turned around a bump, but that was some chin music right there, so he had to pull the bat back.
Hooks at 108 pitches now. Yep.
LaGuire Cruz is 17 of 19 in stolen bases. I would think you'd be with those numbers, you'd be more apt to try and steal a bag than bunt him over.
I would too.
But the left-hander makes a difference. That's a really short lineup. Got the sacrifice. So Redmond moves the runner over. 1-4 on the put out. LaGuire Cruz to second. And now Willman comes to the plate. He scored twice, tripled his last at bat. I believe that was the misplay in center field by Stevens.
Yeah.
girls softball update. Home run by Franklin, 1-0 in the 5th. As Willman swung at that one. But it seems like Hooks' slide step changes depending on, because that slide step is a little bit deeper than when LaGuardia Cruz was on first. When LaGuardia Cruz, I mean, he was getting the ball to home quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that was right off the base. I mean, that's what, maybe 2.5 feet thick up there, and he drilled it right off of it.
By the way, Arturo Casas, who we saw up in the bullpen in the first game today, he is in the bullpen throwing now for Manchester.
Outside evens the count at 2. It's a big run out there at second base for Franklin. Oh, and he got the strikeout. Nice pitch by Hooks. That'll leave it up to Reed, who is 0 for 0.
That's right, still looking for that first official at bat. Well, but he had that sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. It got him an extra run, and right now you're up by 2, so that's big.
Been hit by a pitch and walked. Now maybe he can see if he can get an RBI here with 2 outs.
Oh, what are the odds?
What? That is unreal. Almost literally the same spot.
You do it again. Oh
no, but that hit a pole, like one of the support poles. Holy cow! Couldn't do that again. A million tries. 0-2 though. Quickly got him swinging. Nice job by Hooks to get out of that inning after the single and sacrifice. Still 6-4. We're heading to the 8th.
Hauling or moving project has arrived, and College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving has you covered. Honest. Uniformed. Nice. Knowledgeable. Service. College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving.
We are back. It is Wilson and Garwood. As time is running short for the Spartans, but it's still within reach in a 6-4 game.
Well, they'd love to have an inning like they had back in the 6th.
Big inning, and Franklin does not want to help them out in any way, shape, or form. Outside corner for the strike. As they like to say, they believe it's crunch time.
Yes, it is. Well, this young man throws pretty hard, doesn't he? That's
and then a nice breaking ball, just a little bit high, though. Had Knowles off balance. Same spot with the curveball. This umpire has been very consistent in his plate coverage tonight. Give him kudos. That one is way out there. That could be trouble, and it's gone. A 2-strike home run for Austin Knowles in the jet stream. And, folks, we got ourselves a 1-run game.
Yeah, that time Maine's left it out over the plate, and we have seen the ball carry here at this ballpark all day long, so no big surprise. And I'll tell you what, you said we have a whole new game right now, back to a 1-run lead.
4th home run in the year for Knowles, and yeah, it is getting cheeky, as they say.
Wow. Did you see how fast that got out of here?
Yeah, it did not take long at all. Yeah, Wood didn't have to travel very far before he realized he had no shot at that baseball in left field.
He had no shot at all.
Straight back for Filson. He's had a pretty good day. 2 for 2, a couple of doubles. A sacrifice bunt. Pitcher's got to get over there. Maines is going to make the play. 3-1 on the put out. First out.
Boy, how big is that? You think about that. We had a earlier situation in one of our games where the pitcher didn't get over there as fast as he should have, made it a bang play where really didn't need to be. Just a good fundamental baseball.
Garwood at the plate now as he replaced Jared Hawley earlier in a pinch hitting role. He singled, drove in a run, and then scored. Nice fastball on the outside part of the plate from Maines. 5-9-0 for Manchester, 6-9-3 for Franklin as we stand. Another nice play by Early over at first. He'll take it himself. He's been picking it over there today.
Boy, no kidding. You know what? And he's also playing against the sun. So he played that extremely well, stayed low on the ball, and didn't let the ball play him. It's a great play.
Mitchell Baker will come to the plate now. He singled and scored in his last at-bat. Off-speed pitch. 4-1. By the way, in case you're curious, top of the order for Franklin in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, you don't think they're thinking insurance run now.
And I think Coach Marshall is going to tell A.J. Sanders to maybe look at a few pitches. Update from softball. Mount St. Joseph scored 2-1 Mount St. Joseph at the end of 5. Over Franklin. Strike there on 3-0.
Well, I can tell you right now, Transy's going to be tough to beat. On
Softball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's lifted over to the right side. No play for Early. I like this Matt Early. He's a good player. Sophomore from Mishawaka Marion. That's into right field. LaGuire Cruz takes a few steps back and makes the play. We will head to the bottom of the 8th. Top of the order coming up in a one-run game.
Just working with our company, you're going to get to work with a lot of bright individuals.
Everyone is open and ready to help you, and definitely big on advocating for making sure that you succeed and reach your potential.
Everyone's goal is the same, to make the best products that we can for our clients and make sure that it is everything and more that it could be.
What's kept me here? Our culture. We're genuinely a very great group of people. Everyone's just always willing to lend a hand.
When I have a suggestion or a concern and I voice it, leadership actually hears me.
As a consultancy, every person has a role and has something to bring to the table. There's just a lot of opportunities here if you're up for the challenge.
Jump on board, be part of the fun ride, because we're going places.
This one going down to the wire as Franklin has a one-run lead headed to the bottom of the 8th. Don't forget, we've got one more game tonight, which is Rose-Hulman versus Transy. Then tomorrow we've got 4 more games for you. 10 a.m. elimination game, Anderson versus Bluffton. 1:15. The loser of this game and the loser of the 8 o'clock game play, and we'll keep rolling from there with 2 more night games as A.J. Sanders takes a pitch. Surprise, surprise. And it's a strike. Hooks bounces that one in. Tomorrow night you've got the winner of this game and the winner of tonight's game at 4:30. And then you've got the 2 winners of the morning games facing off in the late game tomorrow night. Sanders taking a lot of pitches there as it's 2-2.
You know, Hook's back out there again. If they can get him through this, they have their entire bullpen still for the rest of this tournament.
Chopper third. Nice play over there by Knowles. By the way, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the HCAC is prohibited. Sanders stays alive.
Well, he's a lot more patient now than he was. Huh?
Yes, he was. I think he almost has seen as many pitches this at bat as he had in his previous 4. Chopper, short, Baker, short hop. Got to get the throw over there. Oh, and he got him. What a close play at first. The speed of Sanders, and my goodness, I can't wait to see that replay.
Yeah, that was bang, bang, and Pittsford keeping his foot on the base. Close.
I would not want to be an umpire. Sean Sullivan riding an 0 for today, 0 for 4. Like to get something going here.
You know, maybe we should offer to show them the replay and they get a challenge. We could do the challenge thing. Here I'm trying to help out the game of baseball, and Jerry said no.
Sullivan, big kid, 6'3" junior from Shearville, Indiana, Lake Central High School. There's a little mix-up there. But, you know, usually when that happens, the umpires are not really apt to call a strike, but this one did.
Yeah.
Which I give him credit because a lot of times, if it's a strike, it's a strike.
Yeah.
You know? 3-1 the count now on Sullivan. You got to admit, he's looking for pitch in his nitro zone. He didn't get it, and he's on base for Lipscomb.
Now, one thing that Manchester cannot do is give up another run here and think about having to make up at least 2 runs in the 9th inning. So this is really big here for Hooks.
Especially with early on deck. Lipscomb's done pretty well in this lefty-lefty matchup. He is 1 for 3 with a double, a walk, and a run scored.
Well, Hooks missing badly now in a couple of these pitches with Sullivan and Lipscomb, so you got to be around the plate here.
His numbers are up there, pitch count.
Well, 132 now.
You are not going to get much. Sullivan's 7 of 9 in stolen bases, so he doesn't have a very big lead over there. And that's through the middle, past the drawn-in first baseman, and on to third is Sullivan. Having the runner on base makes a huge difference there. As Pittsford can't make the play, now you've got runners at the corners with the big boy coming to the dish.
Well, we know Hooks doesn't throw really hard, but I wonder just how much gas he's losing now, because you're talking about 134 pitches, and it's a warm day as well. They just can't have much left here.
Well, I think you may have seen something, because out comes Coach Esposette.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, give him credit, though. Hooks is...
Oh, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, just staying in the ball game despite giving up those early runs, 5 runs through the first 3 innings, but they're going to go to the bullpen.
They are going to make a change. Going to the lefty. Great outing by Hooks. 7 1/3 innings pitched. And he'll give up the ball. Looks like number 4, Arturo Casas. You talked about that, sophomore. And handshakes abound in the dugout for Manchester. We'll get a look at the numbers here for Casas. He is... We'll be back with the stats.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Cassis on the hill for Manchester. Let's take a look at his numbers. 20 appearances for Manchester, 2-3 at the 5.9 ERA, 1 save, 29 innings pitched, 12 walks, 16 strikeouts. Opponents hit .306 over him, against him. Great question by our producer. We talked about if there's a potential double play here, does the run count if the runner scores, if the runner hits the home plate before the runner is out at first? On double play, that is not the case. As he is high and outside. We had that in the high school game we did the other night. It wasn't a double play, but it was the out occurred after the runner touched home plate, so the run scored.
Right. Yeah, this is a completely different scenario.
1-1 the count. Nice breaking ball there. 1-2. Again, 1 out. Runners at first and third. Early with the big fly. Back in the second. 1-run game. Bottom of 8. And got him swinging. What a great at bat there for Cassis to get out of that one. Now he's got to get Noah Wood out, who is 2 for 3.
Yeah, that's a big strike out there for Cassis coming in. And of course, he'd been up in the bullpen a couple of times, so he was really ready to go from about 4th inning on.
Little number to White. He's going to throw to first, and great job by Cassis to get out of that jam. No harm done, and we head to the top of the 9th. It's do or die for the Spartans.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium Black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
It is the moment of the game. Top of the 9th, Franklin with the 1-run lead. Manchester coming to the plate with the top of the order. Ready to go. Maddox Maines back on the hill for Franklin. And he will face Stevens, White, and Haynes. And Manchester needs 1, or they go to the loser's bracket.
Well, and guess what? They're combined 1 for 9 at the top of the order in this game. So the top of the order hasn't exactly done the job, but here we go. I mean, this is why you pay these guys to do this, to get on base. So
I'm sure that NIL money is flowing in for these guys.
Big time, yeah. Now, the key is here, be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to get too anxious. Get yourself some base runners. Try to get the guys into scoring position no matter what it takes to do it. Now, we saw that game earlier where Anderson, as we said, got a couple of runners on base, made a huge base running error at first base, doubled him off, and the game was over just like that.
We got power here at the top of the order. Stevens has 8 home runs on the year. White and Haynes have 1 and 2 respectively. And then you get to Kennedy and Pittsford, who both have quite a few big flies as well. But Maines is bringing it as he throws strike one.
Well, key is, again, you don't really necessarily look for that home run ball. Just you got to get on base.
And there quickly is strike two.
Yeah, Maines got a heck of a breaking pitch there. We saw they missed a couple times in the 8th inning with it, but boy, he comes back with that really strong.
See what he gets here. There it is again. What are you coming back with here?
Well, I'm still up. I may feed him another one.
He does. One at bat, one out. 2 more outs to go for Franklin to move on as the number 1 seed.
Well, think about this, too. None of the leadoff hitters have seen this pitcher yet, so they're getting their first look at Maines.
White coming up and starts off strike one. White is 0 for 3, although he reached and scored in the fielder's choice in the first. And there's a base knock to the right side. Outfielders playing no doubles, very deep. So you've got the tying run on base, and Rocco Haynes coming to the plate.
Not just good piece of hitting there by White. Took the pitch. It was on the outside portion of the plate. Takes it to right field. Get your 10th hit, and now you potentially have, again, the tying run down at first base and a pinch runner coming in.
We are going to get a pinch runner there. Haynes 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch.
It's number 31, by the way.
31 for Jake McGrath, a freshman.
Now, don't make a freshman mistake here,
Oh.
okay?
Don't speak it into existence either, Troy. Come on now.
Sorry.
All right, Haynes coming to the plate. 358 on the year, 31 RBIs. Would love to make it 32. Outfield extremely deep. Great breaking ball for strike one.
You know, kind of shows you that even though Franklin won 30 games this year, you get into tournament play, anything can happen.
Yes, sir. Another curveball goes with it. Shoots it to right field. And, it could be, we cut it off. And he got him anyway. Oh, no, he dropped it.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know why Sanders cut that, because that was on line to nail him at third. And then I think the throw caused Reed to drop it. Now you got runners at second and third and one out.
Yeah, there's no reason. That was a great throw, at least from our vantage point, by LaGuire Cruz. He ended up bobbling the baseball, and that's why he had the runner advance, but it's right on the money.
Isn't that on Reed to make that call to cut it or not to cut it?
Yes. So you've got your 4th error of the ball game now.
And now Maines has his work cut out for him. As Kennedy is at the plate, I have him 0 for 4. 362. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second. And that's into right field. LaGuire Cruz is back, but that's going to tie the ball game.
That's
huge.
huge.
Sac fly does it.
Well, how quickly the circumstances can change when you have a mistake. If LaGuire Cruz fields that one clean, you only have runners at first and second. And then all of a sudden, now because he didn't, and then you have the cutoff.
Well, yeah, you had 2 on that. One, he didn't field it clean. 2, Sanders cut the ball.
Yeah, so 2 big circumstances that hurt Franklin.
2 outs now, and Pittsford, their big stick, 13 home runs, 37 RBIs on the season. He has doubled in 4 plate appearances tonight. Tied at 6, go ahead run at third.
Ouch.
Oh, he fouled it off himself. 1-1.
As Casey Stengel would say, rub some dirt in it and let's keep moving, right?
In case you're curious, 6, 7, and 8, LaGuire, Cruz, Redmond, and Willman set to take the at-bats in the bottom of the 9th. And we're going to have a little powwow here with the base coaches and the runner at third. with a 1-1 count on Pittsford. Curious as to what this may be concerning.
That's a really, really good question. Now, Rocco Haynes is down at third. Of course, he's a veteran, and
you
certainly will trust him with the base running duties down at third. But boy, how about Manchester coming back the way they have with the 3 runs in the 6th inning, another run in the 8th, and now another run in the 9th, and a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, down 6-1 as they headed into the 8th inning. So excuse me, the 6th inning.
Yeah. So we're gonna
now Coach Marshall gonna make his chess move.
Yeah. Question is, what will he do right here? Well, I'll tell you what, though, Pittsford, he had a good first game, had the home run, had the double in this one. I know he's 1 for 4. And he is very, very dangerous. This guy can certainly hit the baseball. So you got to be very careful if you're mains. Don't leave anything out over the plate.
We have a final from softball. Mount St. Joseph beats Franklin 2-1.
Is that their final game of the day?
Yes.
So, in other words, that group is done at 6:45, right? That's the 4th game. What are they going to do now? Are they going to party like we are later? Or will theirs be done by 7?
Keith is probably asleep already.
Probably.
That's out into deep center field. Back and making the catch is Sullivan. Boy, Pittsford put a charge in that one. But now we head to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 6.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
We are back. We have a new second baseman for Manchester.
Vian Mariani.
Vian Mariani, a sophomore. Yes, sir. As Casas comes out for his 2nd inning of work, and he's got LaGuire, Cruz, Redmond, and Willman to deal with.
Now, the same philosophy here is you've got to get base runners.
Yes.
And don't worry about hitting home runs and try to be a hero here. Just get on base, and if you have to sacrifice a runner in the scoring position, do so. But tell you what, LaGuire Cruz, he's a tough hitter.
He hit an absolute missile for a base hit to left field in his last at bat, and he could end this quickly.
Yes. Well, he's a kind of an imposing looking young guy stepping up there too.
And he just tried to, but swung and missed, and Casas has looked good.
Ooh.
0-2. You got to think he comes with a breaking ball right here.
Yeah, I would. Especially the way that LaGuire Cruz been a little bit off in those first couple of swings.
He did not, and LaGuire Cruz pounded that one foul to right field. Maybe set him up for one right here. Nope, and it's to third. Oh, what a pick by Knowles. Gets him at first. 2 picks, one by Knowles and one by Pittsford. 5-3 on the putout, and Redmond will come to the plate.
Yeah, I like Knowles at third. We saw him make a couple of plays earlier tonight.
Yes.
Earlier this afternoon. Just very solid. Baker solid on that side as well.
Willman scored a couple of times, as Casas has done a great job since coming in. Throws a strike to start Willman off with.
Well, they just haven't adjusted as well.
No.
To this left-hander.
And that's up the middle for a base knock. Well, the winning run at first with, that was Redmond, not Willman. I apologize. His second hit of the night. Now it's Willman. He struck out in his last at-bat. Reed on deck.
Well, I don't think there's any sacrifice here with...
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, you've got Willman's been on base 3 times.
Ooh.
That would have been me.
It would have.
But you know my sure hands, I'd have just one-handed snatched that thing out of the air.
Outfielders playing deeper, especially in right field.
Redmond's not going to make any mistakes down there at first either, is he?
No, and that's in right field, and that's into the gap. That's going to get the runner at least to third, and coach is sending him. We're going to have a play at the plate, and he is safe! Safe! The run scores, and Franklin wins it.
Wow. What a play that time, and a great throw. And how about that? Willman with the solid base hit. Redmond was on his horse, and once he saw the third base coach waving him on, it was over.
You know, that was an interesting send, too, by Coach Marshall. Didn't expect it. Decent throw that needed to be cut off. It was a close play at the plate. It didn't really get, yes, the outfielders had to go back to cut it off, but you're talking a guy running from first base on that play.
Yeah, that took every bit of that effort and hustle by your base runner to make that.
I want Jerry, can you show that replay again, please? I want to point out something here that maybe not many people saw. I want you to watch if we can get a shot of that run scoring. Watch Reed on this play. Reed's the on-deck batter, okay? So as the throw comes in, not only does he tell him to slide, he tells him where to slide. See how he's saying go?
Yep.
He's saying go that side of the plate.
Yep.
That is a great play by your teammate.
Exactly.
Wow. There we go. Thank you for that replay, Jerry. That was fantastic. Great camera work, fellas. 7-6 is your final score in game number 3 as Manchester will now play the late game, I believe, or the early game tomorrow evening. The same time slot as this game, 4:30. Manchester will play, Franklin will play. Manchester will play at 1:15 tomorrow. And we will find out who they're playing after game 2 in the evening session, which is coming up in a little bit. Transylvania versus Rose-Hulman. Final thoughts, Troy.
Well, what a game. You give Manchester a lot of credit. They came out, they beat the number 6 seed, or should say the number 3 seed earlier today. They gave the number 1 seed everything they wanted. And just unfortunate, some of the plays didn't go their way, and it just kind of shows you again, as we said earlier, Sean, you can, as they say, throw those seeds out the window sometimes because it's tournament time, and we know that anything can happen. If you get a lucky break here or there, get the key base hits, you're going to stay in the ball game, and Manchester gave Franklin everything they wanted.
They gave Franklin and Franklin's ace everything they can handle, and if you're Coach Marshall, the one thing you want to clear up is that far number on the right.
Yep.
Under the blue line. You cannot have that if you want to win this tournament.
Yeah, and not only this tournament, but if you want to advance in the NCAAs, you're going to run into some good teams. You can't make those kind of mistakes the way they did.
Well, there you have it again. 6-11-0 for Manchester, 7-12-4 for Franklin. A game-winning base hit by Luke Willman in the bottom of the 9th wins it for the number 1 seed Grizzlies. We will come back in just a little while and have game number 4. Stay with us.